Hi, I'm Wrighting, and this is Thinking Out Loud. So I'm just finishing up a weekend away. I try and get away once or twice a year by myself, do a little bit of a solo travel, just to rejuvenate my own energy. And it was something that just occurred to me with this trip that I felt before, but never really fully knew how to articulate. 4 days. I was gone for 4 days. And I have been in relationships now for the last decade plus, like full-blown, ongoing, awesome relationships, and that's been fantastic. And every once in a while I need to unplug. But as I'm running around Asheville, North Carolina, getting up into the mountains, taking in the views, and enjoying so much of this, there was a sense of loneliness that kind of set in. I enjoyed having that time to myself, and yet I couldn't help but feel like I'm missing my people. There are so many experiences and things I would love to have been able to share with them in this process, right? The views that I saw that I think they would have absolutely loved. So even being in a long-term, amazing relationship, I had a moment this weekend of just being lonely, wanting to be able to connect. And it got me to thinking, what would that be like if I didn't have somebody in my life? I remember those days. I've been there, unfortunately, too many times in my lifetime. And one of the things that it reminded me of was just how heavy that loneliness feels. I know that there's a lot of people out there that are looking for and searching for that relationship for themselves. And if you're at all like me, you've gone through the periods of time where you're like, what's wrong with me? Because every time you turn around, that type of relationship just escapes you. You think you have it, and then it goes away. Or you chose the wrong partner, and I get it. I've been there. I have chosen the wrong partners. I have been in the wrong relationships. I have felt that depth of loneliness far too many times in my life. One of the things that it did for me, and I don't know about you, but it caused a sense of desperation in many ways. I wanted it so badly. It wasn't that I was desperate, not by the definition that most people would use, but I wanted the relationship so badly that anytime something looked like it might be a promising lead of a relationship, man, I would dive in. I would dive in fast and quick. And I would actually get myself in the worst relationships because of that. And I think that's something that we all tend to do. We want the relationship so badly that we ignore the red flags. We look past a lot of the issues because we just want to have somebody there. And before we know it, we get into these relationships and they're absolutely horrible. They're not what we envisioned a relationship should be. A lot of soul searching on my end. A lot of having to come to a place of being okay with just being alone. Now, it's part of our human nature. We want to connect. We do. If you find yourself in that place where the relationship you're in or the relationship you're looking at doesn't seem to be really matching with what you want or need in a relationship, I want to encourage you, it's okay to call it and move on. Now, if you need to do some growing up, if you need to do some changing on your part, then I'm going to encourage you to do that first. And sometimes you have to do that on your own before you get into a relationship. I know for me, one of the biggest challenges with communication, I sucked at communication. Guys, I'm not lying to you when I say I was horrible with communication. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to hear other people. I didn't know how to listen right. And that led me to a place of constantly trying to do and be everything they wanted and needed, at the same time completely ignoring everything I needed. And you can build a relationship with that. You can put yourself into all sorts of relationships like that. I married and everything, right? But if you put yourself in that type of relationship and stay there, your life never feels quite like it should. So I know for me, the biggest thing I had to do was learn how to communicate, how to actually let my needs be known, but also hear the needs of my partner and begin to understand how we can make the two of those mesh together. It was a new concept for me in many ways. So I think this thought today is more so reflective for myself, to remind myself of how important these connections really are. And even though I will still need that time away to myself, that's not going to change. It's part of what keeps me sane. It's part of what allows me to re-energize myself. But I don't want to lose what I have, because they are pretty amazing. If you're struggling with that, I want you to know you're not alone. And more than likely, it's not necessarily you. I mean, there may be some things you have to grow and learn, and maybe some skills that you don't quite have. But it's not because you're not worthy, not because you should not have these relationships. Like, that's not a thing. Like, if you're a human being, you were built for connecting. If you're struggling finding those connections, then more than likely somewhere in there is something you haven't learned yet. Maybe it's something about yourself you haven't learned. Maybe it's something in how to relate to other people. But those are skills that can be learned. You can do the insight for yourself to understand yourself better as to how you relate to other people. It took me far too long to figure that out. It took me far too long to start learning those skills, and a lot of having to really dig to find what those tools were, how to learn them, how to even get there. You can do that too. If I can do it, I promise you, you can, because I'm often a stubborn idiot. And so it took me a while to really begin to learn and understand these things. So the resources are out there. Please do that work and look and find it. If that means going and getting therapy, then go get therapy. I don't know that therapy fixes everything. If you need somebody to help coach you through that, I mean, shoot me a message. I'm more than happy to talk to you and see if there's something that we can work on that will help you shortcut the process, learn these skills sooner rather than later. But I want you to know that you're not alone. You are built for connection, and you do deserve connection. So please, if you take nothing else away from this message today, say you are worthy. Catch you next time.